Hey guys, today we're going to be making some Arab cheese pastries, which is called cheese Fatyr. In order to make a small batch, you'll need to use 6 cups of flour, half a cup of vegetable oil, 2 cups of milk, 2 tablespoons of yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of dry milk, and a blender. First you'd put all the dry ingredients together, then in the blender you'd put the milk and the yeast together. You'd also put the sugar and the vegetable oil inside the blender too. After you mix the ingredients inside the blender and then let it rest for 5 minutes, then you'd add the dry ingredients. Now mix the wet ingredients for about 2 minutes. Mix the wet ingredients in a low setting to not disturb the yeast. To mix the ingredients for a second time, you initially have to start off on a low setting and then gradually increase it as you see the dough starting to clump up. You can tell when you're done mixing the ingredients whenever you notice that the dough has been clumped up into one big blob. Now you'll let the dough rest for about 30 minutes. Once it's rested, now you'll separate the dough into little balls. Then let it rest again for about 30 minutes. Now while it's resting, let's make the cheese filling. The first ingredient that you'll need is queso fresco cheese. Now slice the cheese up into medium-sized pieces. Now start putting those pieces into a grinder. Once the cheese has been grinded up, now you'll want to add 2 tablespoons of margarine. For this next step, you'll now need to hand mix the ingredients together. After mixing the ingredients together, it should look creamy. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, our social media accounts. You should follow us on our Facebook and Instagram, link in the description below. Once you're done making the cheese filling, the dough should be ready. You'll first need to spray some oil onto the counter for the dough not to stick and for it to move easier. Then you'll need to pat down the dough and mold it into a circular shape. Once your dough looks circular, then add 3 scoops of cheese onto the dough. Now to make the margarine shape, you'll need to grab one of the edges and fold it to the middle. Then grab the second edge and fold it on top of the first. That leaves you with the final edge, which is on the bottom. You just fold that on top of the other 2. Now add some egg wash on top of each of the pastries. Then let the dough rest for about 15 more minutes. You can tell that the dough is ready whenever it's slightly inflated. Now you'll want to put it inside the oven at about 400 degrees. After 10 to 15 minutes, you can tell if the margarine are ready when the bottom is golden. To make the top golden, you'll now need to set the oven to broil. This will take 5 to 7 minutes, but you can tell when it's ready whenever the top's golden. And now you successfully created your own cheese pastries or margarine.